everyone, Samantha here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to deviate from astrology a little bit to explore a different series called ET, which is Exploring Temples. This series will be covering temples that have brought about keen interests in all historians and archaeologists and people who have a passion for Indian heritage, culture, and history. Being somebody who's deeply interested in Indian philosophy and Vedic literature and Vedic culture, and as someone who has always felt fascinated by temples, I thought this would be a great opportunity to shed light on some temples around us that ought to be more well known. Today, we're going to be mentally exploring a Shiva temple called the Gavi Gangadhareshwara temple. This temple was built around 1,000 years ago. In 9th century or 8th century AD, the exact date is unknown, but this temple has definitely caught the attention of many people, and this temple is home to the Hindu Lord Shiva. It is also a temple that is located inside a cave, and because it is located inside a cave, its architecture is definitely a point of conversation. Moreover, every year on the 14th or 15th of January, the sun directly makes contact with the Shiva Linga that is inside the temple and falls on the temple despite the deity or the linga being well inside a cave. So somehow sunlight falls through, the gates of the temple all the way into the cave, right on the idol. And that's why on that particular day, on the festival of Makara Sankranti, a lot of people go to the Shiva temple to see the phenomenon for themselves. This architecture allows this to happen only once a year. It doesn't happen any other day of the year. There are many more interesting things about this temple. One of them being a lot of people experience timelessness once they enter the temple. A lot of the time, even when I visited this temple, time seems to slow down or even come to a full stop. Sometimes going inside the temple, I felt like I spent 3 hours in the temple while only 10 to 15 minutes had passed. Kala Bhairava is also another form of Shiva. Intense presence of Lord Shiva's energy can have effects on how we perceive time, is what people say, and you will definitely feel that way within this temple. There is a certain positively eerie aura around it that sort of slows down time, slows the mind down, and automatically makes people feel calmer and at ease. The energy is definitely intense. Those who are familiar with Shiva Tattva or Shiva energy can feel it tenfold in this location. There is another fascinating thing about this temple. Around the idol, there are many vigrahas or mini idols of goddesses, of sages who used to travel through there. And what do I mean when I say travel through there? Within Gavi Gangadhareshwara, there are two pathways. One that apparently led to Kashi and one that leads to Shivaganga. Now, all of this is according to scriptures and stories passed down. For modern day man, it is impossible to use those sub caves as a mode of travel to either Kashi or Shivaganga. There has even been some talk about people trying to put cameras with like toy remote control cars or something through there to see, and it not making it beyond a certain point. So it's impossible for humans to travel through those caves to these said locations. You will see in the temple there are two openings within the cave that lead to deeper caves that are said to lead to these two locations, and both of which are Shiva temples. One is the famous Kashi, and one is the famous Shiv Ganga, which is in the north and south of India, respectively. So that is very fascinating. It is said that sages and people who are familiar with the concept of teleportation in Sanskrit and the Vedas, it's referred to or mentioned as Manoviveka. Manoviveka translates to mental velocity or the speed of the mind. This term is used in some yoga and tantra texts to describe the ability to move the mind or consciousness quickly and effortlessly through time and space. This is where the concept of astral travel or teleportation comes in. Apparently, sages had the ability to do these things because they had that level of sadhana or the ability to tap into their consciousness or spiritual practice built over the years to be able to do these things, to be able to detach from the physical body and then reassemble the physical body elsewhere. So it was easy for sages, apparently, and it is said, to travel through these caves to instantly teleport to these two temples, which is an interesting story. Ancient Vedic scriptures do talk about this, and it takes a lot of spiritual practice to achieve this ability of teleportation. This temple actually is attributed to the Ganga king Ereyappa, who ruled from 869 to 901 AD. However, some sources suggest that the temple may have been built by the Chola dynasty rulers who later conquered the Ganga kingdom. It's worth noting that the temple has undergone several restorative measures and renovations and expansions over the centuries, which has made it difficult to pinpoint the exact date of its construction. The Gavi Gangadhareshwara temple remains one of the most significant and fascinating temples in South India. Thank you so much for exploring this temple with me through this video. If you do live in Bangalore or plan on traveling to Bangalore, and if you have a keen interest in visiting different kinds of temples, marveling at the architecture of old buildings, and have an interest in exploring unique energies through these spiritual places, I definitely recommend taking a trip to this temple. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the post notification so we can stay connected, and I will see you next time. I look forward to exploring more temples through this channel. Bye!